One dream never faded since I moved to London more than 8 years ago, and that is a promise to one day visit Spain with my husband. We decided to go to Seville for 5 days, a city that reminds me a piece of my home back in the Philippines. Their food, music, art, and history all gave me a taste of distant memories, something I longed for to this day. From the local tabernas to multi-course experience, Sevilla offers it all. I particularly fell in love with the city because the food is so close to home. Starting off with cafes. The classic cheesecake at La Tarta de la Madre de Cris was one of the best cheesecakes I've ever tried. It's perfect with a cortado. The texture is silky and it melts in your mouth. It has a perfect balance of sweetness and creaminess. But let's be honest, nothing beats a classic cheesecake after a long flight. Our next cafe is Casa Orzaes. Their avocado and toast with preserved lemon was definitely a must try. Their cute little madeleines are also perfect for dessert. And while we sat outside the cafe with a number of people passing every 10 minutes, the area was considerably peaceful and it was quite lovely. Something about this place made me and my husband smile. I think it's because it's a bit closer to the river. There's a tapas bar in Sevilla that we accidentally tried. It's the El Sembrano restaurant. This is where my husband and I had our first sip of sangria. Their fried octopus and grilled king prawns reminded me of a beach trip with my family when I was young. Their pork rind, I believe is called chicharron, was very herby and fatty. I just wish I had rice with it. Chef's kiss. Because I travel with my husband who loves tasting menus so much, here are the 3 restaurants that we've tried in Sevilla. The first one is El Disparate. This restaurant is known for its Mediterranean cuisine. I really like their scallops with potato foam and their tuna tartare. They also served a pani puri filled with sardine pate, which was quite interesting. The meal ended with a mango tartare dessert with lemon sorbet and yogurt foam. I just wish my husband warned me beforehand because I overstuffed myself an hour before this meal. And it was also getting late, so I was extremely tired and drowsy. But overall, the food was really delicious and refreshing. Each dish was served with a unique flavor combination, and we enjoyed every bite of it. The second tasting menu in Sevilla happened after we watched our first flamenco show. I was so elated that for the first time in my life, I got so wasted in public, which never happened, by the way. I still don't remember how I ended at the restaurant that day. Yo Cucina is where we had our second tasting menu experience. This intimate restaurant sobered me up. I can still remember how delicious their anchovy butter with iced creamy olives were. Yes, iced olives. I've never heard of such thing. The texture and flavor profile was really new to me. It certainly is a perfect spread for bread or crackers. There were so many dishes that really stood out, but a few unforgettable ones were their liver truffle, beef tartare, and their cod with fermented black garlic. We didn't get their wine tasting, but they do offer it here. We ended our trip with one of the best tasting menus we've ever had, even after Fil Como in Italy and the Helene de Rose in London. It was the combination of the calming ambience, warm people, and well thought out flavors that made me think it's the best tasting menu experience I've tried so far. I will not go into details of the ingredients in case you want to visit this place, but the best dish was their lamb soup. Buttery, savory, and packed with umami, it's something I never thought anyone could create. I will just say it here that not knowing the specific ingredients beforehand made this experience quite memorable. I also like their peanut bean stew and the matcha artichoke. We were confused whether these were desserts or savory dishes, so it left us debating what those were even after we left the restaurant. We paired our dishes with their kombucha selections, which my husband and I needed after a few days of non-stop alcohol. Sangria is just so delicious, we can't help it. Each dish has a story, even the idea of us leaving our chair. And this is what exactly made this restaurant's experience so unforgettable, their story. Food is just the beginning of this trip because Seville is the home of spectacular architecture and artwork. The most beautiful plaza I've seen in my life was the Plaza de España. Your eyes will feast on these beautiful tile works, incredible architectural designs, and breathtaking scenic views. I mean, just look at this amazing photo I took with my phone. It looks like a postcard. Everything here is a masterpiece. Everywhere we look, there are just so many things to capture and explore. We can sit here all day thinking about how beautiful life is. A short walk from the old channel of Canal de Alfonso, you will find yourself at the front of Museo de Bellas Artes de Seville. This Museum of Fine Arts housed a collection of different Spanish visual arts from the 17th to the 20th century. There are so many paintings and sculptures here, mainly religious, that carry a lot of history. If you have a European ID, you'll get in for free. We only paid €1.50 each to get in, which is like a donation for the place, so it's still a great deal. Their Andalusian patio is so beautiful. Houses and buildings in Spain mostly have this kind of courtyard. The tile works are equally beautiful too. Catedral de Seville, registered as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1987. I don't even know where to begin with this. Can you believe that this magnificent Gothic cathedral used to be a mosque? Yeah, I couldn't believe it either until our tour guide told us about its history. The interior was out of this world that my head almost snapped from looking up all the time. The original mosque was destroyed by an earthquake, but there were a few parts that were left, so they preserved the interior and built the cathedral around it. We can actually see the layers of the original Moorish design and the Gothic structure at one of the entry points. This cathedral also houses 250 grams of Christopher Columbus's remains inside this elevated tomb. Very fascinating. We also went up the La Giralda where we can see a good view of Seville. I must say it's not for anyone with claustrophobia. There are so many tourists and the path is so steep and narrow. Occasionally the bell rings too, so it gets really loud. We also wish we had booked the Royal Alcazar, which is right next to the cathedral, but we were too late. Nonetheless, this was an incredible experience and a perfect place to conclude our tour. Is there a place that made you want to leave everything behind? Like a siren that lures you with a song into the depths of the ocean, but instead of drowning, you know you're going to live because you're having fun, because enjoying and exploring life makes it all worth it. It's that forgotten melody that gives life to everything tainted and withered. I think this is what this trip was all about for us. A trip of a lifetime that restores faith. The food that filled our hearts. The music and the beautiful tapping that brought us joy. The kaleha that made me feel at home. The history that we don't want to forget. Everything was beautiful. We did not want to leave this dreamy place behind. Our hearts were immensely heavy as we packed our bags to catch our flight home. But like any great first encounter in life, it doesn't end with goodbye. It ends with, I'll see you again next time.